So I want to share with you the title of the training is More People Will Start Rooting for You When You Do This. Okay. And so this weekend we experienced something really, really cool. And there was a gentleman, Joe, who came to our Alto Networker workshop, who for 6 years had been wanting to prospect people, and he was just nervous. He just couldn't get himself to do it, to come up with the right words to prospect people, etc. And so he came, and he was a little, I'll be honest, day one, he's a little high maintenance, not gonna lie. Love you, Joe. And Joe's like, well, you know what, Ray, I'm here for a breakthrough. So, no pressure, right? Which means he's putting pressure on me. And so throughout the day, and day one, I said, how many have had a breakthrough so far? And about 80%, I would say, maybe more, raised their hand, like, oh man, wow, my eyes are blown up. And not Joe. Joe's like, nope, no breakthrough yet. He goes, I've learned some things, no breakthrough, right? It's just a little high maintenance. And so I'm like, all right, Joe, fine. So I'm like, come on over. And so I said, what's the deal? What is it you're stuck on? And he's like, Ray, I can talk to people all day long. And, I just can't get myself to transition into asking about the business. So I can talk to anybody anywhere, but I just can't get myself to, talk to him about the business. And by the way, he had shared that, he was a little frustrated, in his business earlier. I don't know if he used the word frustrated, but it was roughly, that's what he was saying. And so, the whole, the room, heard that and everything. And so, he tells me, he goes, I just can't, I just don't feel comfortable. I'm not sure, what to say here. And by the way, I did interview him. And so it's on my Facebook page. I think it got shared in here too. So I'll check it out if you're nervous to talk to talk to people. And so I said, all right, Joe, here's some suggestions for you. And I said, hey, say whatever it is that you normally say. Because it sounds like he's okay talking to human beings. Say whatever you say to human beings. And then at some point, I want you to just say, hey, this may sound crazy, but listen, I have a home business and I work with a lot of talented people. I'm always looking for skilled people. I don't know, but would you be at all open to taking a look at what it is that I'm doing? It may or may not be a fit for you. If you're open to it, great. If not, no big deal. And he said, oh, okay. He wasn't fully committed at that point. He's like, oh, okay. And I said, all right. And Joe, you need to do that to 5 people tonight. That's your homework. I'm going to hit you right in the morning. You got to hit 5 people tonight. And he's like, oh, all right. And I'm like, are you going to do it? And he goes, yeah, I'll do it. To me, he wasn't convincing me. Right. And so, off we go. So we close day one. Day two, I see him first thing. I'm like, did you do your homework? He goes, yes, I did my homework. I'm like, okay. And so I didn't ask for details, but I brought him up to the front of the room. I said, all right, tell me about your experience. And I'm not going to repeat the experience because it's an interview. You can watch the whole thing and get some nuggets. And but bottom line is, he talked to 5 people. 4 of them gave him their information. So he's batting 80%. Which, by the way, for those of you who know baseball, if you bat 30%, you end up in the Hall of Fame. So just so you're aware. So if you in baseball, if you strike out 7 times out of 10, and you consistently do that, you end up in the Hall of Fame. It means you're batting 300, right? You got a batting average of 300. You end up in the Hall of Fame, like Ted Williams. There's a handful of others that have batted 300 over their career. And so if you if you strike out on 7 out of 10 conversations, you're pretty amazing. Well, Big Time Joe, who, by the way, had been nervous for 6 years, had no experience prospecting. So I know some people, they cling to excuses like there's an award for it. Well, Ray, here's why I'm Little Bear, right? Well, here's why, right? And so most people, they cling to excuses like they get a trophy for it or something. And so Joe had no experience. Joe had been nervous for 6 years. And I told him, go out and talk to 5 people. And if you want the full interview, watch the interview. And 4 out of 5 said, yeah, you know what, I'd be game to take a look at that. You know, and the 5th person was just like, you know what, I'm just so busy and whatever. And what I love is that he didn't, you know, beat himself up about the 5th person. But something interesting happened, okay? When Joe shared his story, the entire room, yeah, way to go, Joe, right? They start, woo, right? And then we do the Facebook interview. Joe gets all kinds of friend requests. Joe gets all kinds of nice, you know, comments and stuff. And a lot of you in here, way to go, Joe, right? And so I want you to understand that more people, the right people, will start rooting for you when you take massive action. Now, I love what my buddy Johnny Green said at our last event. Johnny Green said, he goes, you know, if your car breaks down and you just sit by the car waiting for someone to push you to the gas station, and you just kind of sit there and kind of, well, I hope someone comes along and, you know, and helps me push this car or pushes this car for me, people aren't going to show. But did you know that if you broke down on the side of the road and you started pushing that car, you started doing the work, I'm telling you, someone will pull over to help you. And that's a really good analogy for you guys to understand, is there's a lot of people sitting around, well, I sure wish someone would motivate me. I sure wish someone would, you know, help me out, right? But you're not helping yourself out. Okay? You're not helping yourself out. And so get out and push the damn car, and you'll be shocked at who wants to help you, who's going to root for you, and you'll actually make some progress. Imagine that. Now, what could I have done with Joe? I could have said, now, Joe, why don't you go home and study my cold market prospecting? You know, okay, man. He'd watched it twice already, by the way. But I could have told him, hey, go back into learning mode. But no, he went into action mode. And that's where his power lies. That's where power is. It's when you push the car. It's when you prospect. It's when you do the activity. That's where the power is, and that's where the right people will start rooting for you. So go start doing the pushing. Go start doing the prospecting, even when maybe you're not comfortable, even when maybe you don't know exactly what to say. Go do the work, and you'll be shocked at who shows up in your life. And so there you go, my friends. Watch the interview if you want to get the full details of exactly what he said and how he approached him and all that stuff. But let's make it happen. Let's make this. Let's decide. Let's make this week our most powerful week of our entire lives. That's a choice. We can make that choice. Let's make it happen. So I appreciate you guys. Congratulations to all of you guys getting the cool pop socket. Right? All you guys getting the cool pop socket. We're going to send that out to you. The 9% of you that updated the tracker, way to go. I know that we got a good 9% of you very, very serious about progressing and making it happen. We'll get some of the rest of you. We'll get some of the rest of you. The rest of you, if you're enjoying the trainings and I'm entertaining for you, that's awesome. Those of you who want to progress, update the tracker. So there you go, my friends. Rock it out. Let's make it happen. Bye, guys.